Do you think this is a wrap for Eli Manning?
Yeah, I never thought Eli was an elite quarterback. I think he always played well. The year they won the Super Bowl, he had some solid games leading up to the point. The last year, their defensive front was just a pretty good front that got after the opposing quarterbacks. I never thought he was, that franchise quarterback, even though he's been there a long time. To me, franchise quarterbacks transcends your team. The Aaron Rodgers, the Tom Brady's, the Drew Breeses, even the Phillip Rivers. I mean, those type of guys, they stay there, but they make your team better just because they're on your team. Those are franchise quarterbacks to me. Those are rare players. We can all say that all these guys, every team has a franchise quarterback because he's been there 10 years. I think that's just like selling a dream to a fan base that's awake. I just think that you have to be very careful with that. To me, my standard is higher. And when I say I have a franchise quarterback, it's going to be one of those type of guys.
And Eli's not that guy.
I don't think Eli is.
Do you think he is, regardless of whether he was or not, or is or not, is he on his last legs? Do you see a quarterback that is done? Yes?
I think well, first of all, it's hard to judge him with the lack of protection that he does have. That is tough. It's tough on a young quarterback. It's definitely tough on a veteran quarterback. But it's definitely tough on a quarterback that we know he's going to be 7 yards deep behind the center and the guard. He's not moving. He's not going anywhere. He's not getting out of the pocket. He can't get out of the pocket. He's never been that type of quarterback. And now you have less protection for him. That's tougher for him. But I just think that this is his last year or so.
But isn't Brady a guy that you know where he's going to be in the pocket too?
Yeah, but he's different. He's that guy that he's seen everything. He's going to be 7 yards behind the quarterback, but he can anticipate. He knows who he wants to challenge. He knows the defense before it's even ran.
But Eli does too, don't you think?
You know what?
The neck up on Eli Manning has never been in the question.
I don't think he sees it like Tom. Tom's different. Aaron Rodgers is different. Drew Brees is different than all those other quarterbacks. Phillip Rivers is different than all the other quarterbacks. They can still, like Phillip Rivers, he can't run from me to you in 20 seconds. But, man, he can throw the football. And that's what Dan Marino was the same way. Danny couldn't run from me to you, but Danny could throw the football. And those type of quarterbacks, to me, are the hardest ones to face because you can't disguise against them. And then if you give them any little room, any little notice of what you're doing as a defense, they pick you apart.
Well, you got to be careful, Ron Woodson, because Eli Manning may be in that bust gallery with you one day.
What bust? I don't own a bust.
Bust gallery.
Oh, bust.
Gallery.
I don't vote.
Okay.
I don't vote.
But if you did, would you put him in the bust gallery with you?
I would say the Hall of Fame to me is the greatest of the greatest to ever play in the National Football League. There's only 300-some-odd guys in the league.
True.
That's, players and contributors. And when you look at all the quarterbacks that are in, does he strike you as being one of those guys? To me, I say no. And I, watched him for a long time, played against his brother, coached against him last year. Or no, excuse me, he wasn't there. That was the game that he got benched.
That's the Geno Smith game.
That was a Geno Smith game. So didn't get to coach against him, but when preparing for that game, I'm like, he's a looker. And what I mean by that is there's certain quarterbacks that can look you off, like Drew Brees on the touchdown breaking pass that he had in the game. He was dropped back, and Sean Payton is really good at teaching his quarterbacks how to pump away, but they know that DBs read shoulders of the quarterback, and he two-hand pumped.
Yeah, he moved that left shoulder. Yeah.
Which brought the defender up, which gave him a bigger gap to throw on the backside of on the sideline, and he took that pass. To me, I just don't see Eli being that type of guy.
What about Phillip? Would you put him in the bust room?
That's a tough one. That's a real tough one because I love the way he plays. I love how he can throw the football. I mean, he'll sling a sidearm, and it gets there. And he's never had a bunch of great, talented receivers. He did have the run. He had LT. He had, he did have the tight end
Gates.
in Gates.
He will be in the bust room.
Absolutely.
Right.
Gates will be.
Right.
And I think Phillip will definitely. I think he would get in. Because I put him at high praise because I just know that he's not real athletic, but the guy's a great competitor and he's a great thrower of the football.
And what about the last member of the 2004 class still around, and Big Ben? Do you think he's a Hall of Famer, Ron?
I like Ben. I do. I think he's in that category. I don't know if he transcends the teams. I don't know if he went to Green Bay will still be Green Bay. I'm not sure of that. I know if Aaron Rodgers still went to Pittsburgh would still probably might be better because he's a little bit more mobile. But I've always liked Ben. I think Ben is one of those quarterbacks that, he's taken the team to another level. He's had some great players around him over the years. So he'll be another one that's argued about getting in. And it's a quarterback-driven league.
Yep.
The rules have changed over the years. So I think we have to pump the brakes on two things because we see this explosion on offense.
Yes, we do.
Where so many points and yards are just given on a daily basis, and how terrible the tackling is gone in the National Football League is just crazy. But with that being said, I think we have to pump our brakes because these receivers are just catching the ball so easy. They're overly protected. The quarterbacks are overly protected in the pocket, out of the pocket. They can do whatever they want to. Mm-hmm. You can't land on them. You don't know how to tackle them. And I think, God bless you.
No, he's allergic to the defensive rules as well, Ron.
So
he's allergic to it as also, yeah.
To me, I think we have to pump our brakes with some of these younger guys that say we can't crown them so fast. They got to do it over a longer period of time.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.